Well, hello there, Ross here from Biker Talk. Sad day, the R18 Roctane is going back to BMW Australia. So I've got to drop it over to Bike Visit Granville. But my R18 First Edition has been in getting a serviced and a new set of tyres fitted. So I'm picking that up, and I thought what I'd do is do a bit of a back-to-back comparison between my R18 First Edition and this R18 Roctane. So stick about and we'll see what the differences are. Okay, so first thing I'm going to say is I'm actually really disappointed that I have to drop this bike back to BMW Australia. Anyway, let's talk about rider ergonomics. So sitting here, I'm really up nice and upright. These bars are really sort of sitting me back a little bit further, which is nice. I've got a 90-degree bend at the knee, and my feet are sitting really nice and flat on these running boards. So all up, a really comfortable position to be in. You could do some big kilometres on this bike. So the styling of the R18 Roctane. So I really love the black chrome that they've used on this. The push rods and the headers and the exhaust, wonderful. Really nice touch. Does it look better than my R18 First Edition? Don't know about that. I think that's a great looking bike. It's a rolling work of art. Don't get me wrong, this one looks great and looks different to the R18 First Edition. It's that bagger style, which I never used to like, but I'm slowly getting used to it. Possibly the First Edition still has it, but only just because this one is a wonderfully stylishly good-looking bike. So, on the R18 First Edition, when I saw them sitting there together, I know why I love this bike. It just looks stunning. Anyway, let's talk about rider ergonomics. Now, I do feel like I'm sitting a little bit more forward. I do feel like I'm sitting lower in the bike, and there's a little bit more of a bend in my knee, not quite the right angle that it was on the Roctane. So it definitely feels lower, this bike. The seat definitely feels lower. And I must admit, it actually feels a lot lighter than the Roctane, which really surprised me. I really did get used to the apes on the Roctane. I really like those. But the bars on this, it gives it a real classic look. You look at the profile of this bike, the lines are just gorgeous. This is a bike that I think that BMW really nailed it in terms of styling. This First Edition is just beautiful. Okay, next up, the seat. The seat's really nice and well padded. I love this little lip at the back that sort of pushes you forward. So it's a one-piece seat, but it just sort of pushes you forward a little bit, which is okay. It gives you a bit of back support as well. Really nice, comfortable seat. That combined with that rear shock, the rear shock's really plush, so no dramas there. Really just adds to the comfort of the bike. Okay, so back on my R18 First Edition. So the seat on this bike, definitely a lot firmer than the one on the Roctane. That Roctane seat is really comfortable. And this one, yeah, look, it is firm. And the rear shock is noticeably firmer. So I have considered actually replacing the rear shock on this one. I think Wilbers do a kit, something I might do in the future. So let's talk about the sound of the R18 Roctane. I actually quite like it. It's got a nice burble. There's a few crackles and pops when you downshift. It's a little bit louder than my R18 First Edition with the fishtail pipes. So as I'm riding along here, this one definitely sounds quieter and hasn't got those really nice pops and crackles that the Roctane has. Different pipes. But there is a mob who takes these original fishtails, because I love the look of them. They take these original fishtails and they cut them open and remove the baffling. And I've heard them and they sound fantastic. I think it's actually a Sydney-based guy who does it. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. So I think I may have to try and source a set of fishtails and get them cut open. Okay, another key difference. This one, along with the running boards, has a heel shifter. Now my First Edition just has the toe shifter. This one's got the heel toe shifter. So nice touch. I'm actually thinking about putting one of those on my bike. I actually quite like it. It's good fun. Oh, I just went for the heel shifter then. Okay, got to get used to that. No heel shifter on this one. And also no running board. So the pegs are nowhere near as comfortable. That's quite funny. The R18 Roctane, I think, is the only bike in the range. I could be wrong. There might be the Bagger, might be the same. That has a 21-inch front wheel. So it's a much bigger front wheel than the other bikes in the range. So you'd think it wouldn't handle very well. This handles brilliantly. Certainly as well as my First Edition. Don't know if it handles better. They both handle really well, and I said it in the last video. They don't have any rights to handle as well as they do, these R18s. But it's just a great design. Low centre of gravity, handles really well. I will say though, this one, I have not scraped out the pegs once. And that has surprised me because I am constantly scraping out the pegs on mine. Now that's probably to do with bigger front wheel, bigger rear wheel. I think it's a bit more ground clearance. There has to be more ground clearance because I'm definitely going nowhere near scraping the boards out. It does actually feel like I'm sitting up a little bit higher as well. So overall, just a little bit taller, this bike. When I was riding the Roctane, I thought, oh, it's not really that much noticeable difference in handling. Riding them back to back, this one is definitely more nimble. That smaller front wheel definitely makes a difference. Tick for the R18 First Edition, and probably any of the R18s with this front wheel setup in terms of handling. Do wish I had cruise control on this though. That's one thing I miss. One thing I didn't point out on the other bike was it's got a few more electronics. So things like tyre pressure monitoring, this bike doesn't have it. Cruise control, this bike doesn't have those. Would be nice to have those options on this, but when they released the First Edition, this is a 5-year-old bike now, those things weren't available. The clock on this bike is a lot easier to see than the one on the Roctane. I love the look of the one on the Roctane. I love the look of this one too. But yeah, on the Roctane with the clock inset into the headlight, looks wonderful and proper old school. This one's a lot easier to see though. Maybe that's just my failing eyesight. So I absolutely love my R18 First Edition. I have no plans to sell it. To me, it's just an absolutely stunning bike. And I love it just as much today as I did the day I bought it. Handles brilliantly, looks fantastic. I think they're the best looking bike on the market, bar none. Could be wrong. I'm sure someone will argue with me over that. Add it in the comment if you think there's a better looking bike. Just know that you're wrong. So we don't just do first review vlogs and that sort of thing. We do motorcycle reviews and rider stories as well. So if you're interested in any of that sort of stuff, check out the channel. There's 3 of us review the bikes normally. Myself, Tegan and Lucas. Lucas is actually a car journo. Tegan and I are not journos or motorcycle professionals. We're just keen enthusiasts who enjoy talking about bikes. So check out our other content. Thanks for stopping by. And remember, life's better with talk. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.